Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. Well, Oklahoma agriculture has seen its ups and downs over the last several years. From severe drought conditions to volatile prices, producers are faced with trying to predict an almost unpredictable market, all while putting food on our tables. Our Andy Barth hit the road this week to see how some state farmers are faring, and he joins me now.
Well, Rob, ag producers have been put through the ringer over the last several years, and consumers are now feeling it at grocery store checkout counters. Now, I met with producers and economists to see what the future holds for Oklahoma agriculture. When it comes to agriculture, Oklahoma has long been a cattle and wheat state. But with today's market fluctuations, farmers are looking for more.
We're a pretty diverse no-till operation here. We raise winter wheat, winter canola, corn, soybeans, grain sorghum, and some dry hay. For agriculture
An assorted lineup that producer Marty Williams says is necessary thanks to the falling value of wheat.
The United States used to be a world powerhouse in wheat, and we know anymore that they're not. And I think as a young producer, I sit out here and I look, wheat is probably not the most profitable crop to be growing for grain. However, in Oklahoma, we're positioned in a unique spot where we can graze livestock on that and kind of double up on some income.
Good news that Oklahoma State University's Kim Anderson says is necessary to keep bread on the table.
Producers with wheat are losing money right now at current cost. In the long run, they have to make a profit or they just won't raise the commodity and we won't have bread and flour.
And Williams says future prices remain bleak thanks to global unrest.
I think wheat as a grain is probably going to be a low price for years to come. A lot of it depends on the turmoil in Russia, Ukraine, production in Australia, droughts and such. But you know, I think it's going to be tough to sell wheat just as grain, especially in our marginal yielding land.
Yet, despite low wheat value, the cattle industry remains strong. Oklahoma State University's Derrell.
We still have prices at a very high level. We did see a bit of an adjustment in most cattle prices at the end of 2014 and the first few weeks of 2015, but we're holding essentially at a record level, and we're going to be at that level for this year.
High prices brought on by low cattle numbers, a trend Peel says might be changing.
The USDA numbers for January 1 this year confirmed what we suspected, that the herd did begin expanding in 2014. The beef cow herd was up about 2%, which was actually a little stronger rate of growth than we expected. Total cattle inventory in the country is up about 1%. So, you know, at long last, after many years of various reasons that contributed to additional liquidation, we see some herd expansion now.
An expansion that producers like Williams is excited about.
I've been a little low on cattle numbers the last few years because grain prices have been high, and I traditionally am a farmer, but this year we ramped up our cattle numbers, and it's worked for us. You know, I'm primarily a cow-calf guy, and so the cow-calf, once you get those cows paid for, they're just working for you.
A flexible strategy in an industry that's ever-changing. Well, now many factors are in play when it comes to predicting future market prices. And as we gear up for another severe weather season here in Oklahoma, it will be interesting to see just how agriculture will be affected.
And Andy, I read that the value of the U.S. dollar is also playing into ag prices.
That's right, Rob. The value of the dollar is actually increasing now, which means that commodities like wheat are going to be increasing. Now, what that means for producers is on the trade side, they're going to be getting a lower price. But for the consumers, it's a good thing because we'll start seeing prices of things like bread and pasta getting cheaper.
All right. Thanks so much, Andy.
You're welcome, Rob.
Now, when we return, we head to the Oklahoma Panhandle to meet this year's winner of the Outstanding Achievement Award in Oklahoma Agriculture.